1 year later, and the two Virginias are still living under the cloud of coronavirus.
How did we get here? Where are we now? What can we expect for the future?
We want to answer all of those questions and more.
Join us on March 17th at 5, 5:30, and 6 for a series of special reports on the past, present, and future of the coronavirus.
Then tune in at 7:30 where medical professionals will answer all of your questions about the COVID-19 vaccine.
A Shot of Hope, March 17th at 7:30. WVVA, here for you.
We're looking at impacts in 4 areas: our health, vaccines and treatments, education, work and unemployment, as well as lifestyle. I spoke with both men about the difficulties in those early days a year ago.
We didn't have enough PPE. Our testing capability, when we started, we were sending the few tests that were available to the CDC, which was all the way down in Atlanta.
I just felt like this was going to be the real tsunami. In West Virginia, being the 3rd oldest state in the country with the most chronic illnesses.
And as the pandemic started to unfold, it became clear there were challenges with treating the novel coronavirus.
With a delay in testing results, Massey says many patients had to be treated as presumptive positives.
We converted our whole 3rd floor into a COVID-19 unit where that every room had a negative pressure.
The COVID-19 pandemic changed the education system in the two Virginias as leaders tried to keep students and staff safe while figuring out just how to implement protocols while continuing the students' lessons.
Talk about a group of school districts in southern West Virginia that absolutely are West Virginians taking care of West Virginians. I saw a message out of southern West Virginia last week. Every single boxed meal that went out of that district had a personal message to every child. Basically, we love you, we're thinking about you, we're caring about you.
The shutdown did not just put a stop to in-person instruction. It also led to an abrupt end to the final chapter in the public education of every high school senior.
Our last day of school was March 13th, and I got sick that day and I didn't get to go. So I missed my last day of high school.
That would not be the only missed event a student would experience.
All things consistent, familiar, and normal were wiped away.
I think that parents have a horrible situation right now.
Parents, grandparents, and legal guardians are left with what they thought would never be the toughest decision for their children, and that is sending them back to school.
My decision would be for her not to go.
I want my kids to be safe, but at the same time, I know it's important for them to get back to school.
Our Annie Moore walks us through how West Virginia emerged as a leader with vaccinations.
We didn't engage the federal pharmacy chain programs because we knew the relationships with the independent pharmacy chains was crucial to getting this done quickly.
We were asked to kind of rewrite the playbook on education. We had never done virtual or remote learning before.
Everyone's had a huge learning curve. Teachers, administrators, families, parents, community members, students.
We're adults and we're struggling with all of this and the changes that come every day. These are kids and they're doing the exact same things we are.
So we're working with our community and technical colleges, and WVU Tech is here in our footprint to identify if we start looking at a particular industry like aerospace, outdoor manufacturing, and those sorts of industries, what does the current state of the workforce look like, and how can we retrain those laid off individuals and utilize the skills that they already have to retrain them in a skill that's attractive to them?
Nearly every facet of every sport, one way or another, was affected by the pandemic. Not just physically, but also mentally.
A year later, and the question remains, where are we headed? Have masks become a permanent accessory? Will testing become a routine practice? Our Hannah Howard takes a look at those questions and more as she explores the lasting impact of COVID-19 on health. Virginia resident get the vaccine in West Virginia and vice versa.
The simple answer is no, not at this time because of the availability of the vaccines to the states.
Featuring viewer questions about the coronavirus vaccines. We have a panel of health experts answering those questions, and we're going to dive right back into them. This next question comes from Mike Profit in Bramwell, West Virginia, who asks, WVVA produced 2 hours of special coverage marking the 1-year anniversary of coronavirus in the two Virginias.
We took a look back at where we were, where we are, and what the future might hold.
Are immune against the virus, hopefully due to vaccination.
And that vaccine is bringing hope, but it's also bringing a lot of questions.
Should you then try to get the Johnson & Johnson vaccine? We asked your questions to local health experts and got the answers you were looking for. WVVA, here for you.